Hey, Carol, can you hear us?
Carol, can you hear us? She's muted. I can see her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, we should be good. We're just testing out sound. They've tested the sound system, but we're going to do it in a way to make sure that the sound works without everybody here.
Okay.
Do you hear any echo, any distortion on your end?
I was hearing a smidge of echo when Mara was talking.
Right, I'm going to go downstairs.
Tracy, unmute.
Well, and you only want to ask them to unmute when we need them to talk. They should be able to unmute themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, oh, add me. Come over here to my hit more and make co-host. That way I can fix things if I need to. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. And
Okay,
I'll
so
look
when,
at,
looks like I have an
yeah, so
attendee.
click over to the attendees. Okay, so that's Tony.
That's 221,
Yeah, so he's there for the second one.
right?
So if you want to, you can.
All right.
Thought that might be a virtual background, but it looks like that's an orange wall.
I was thinking the same thing, Tracy.
I thought you had a virtual background, Bob.
Bob, can you hear? Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Angela, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Bob's our outlier. Can't hear him. He can't hear us.
Bob, can you hear us?
I thought there might be a way to send a chat, but I don't see how to do that.
I just looked for one. Let me see if I can find something.
Looks like Bob's trying to check in again.
I'm on my phone now.
There you
There
are.
you go.
Sorry.
I think we've got you on twice now.
Sorry. I couldn't hear you. I'm gonna close that one. All right.
Hi, Ken. Can you hear us, Ken?
Yes, you hear.
I can hear you.
Oh, we also have Ken on here twice too.
He doesn't have audio or video on his desktop, so using the telephone as well. Close that. Close it. Okay.
So if anyone is on the line listening, be patient with us. We're getting set up, getting all of our panelists, our ARB members set up for the meeting. So Ken, can you hear us yet? Bob, do we have you now for sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we seem to have Bob, but we do not seem to have Ken, and we seem to have him on here twice. For those that have their hand raised, at this time, this is just the work session, so no one is going to be speaking other than the members of the board. Hey, Ken, can you try speaking for us? Ken, can you hear us?
You're connected.
You seem to have two set up. I think I'm going to try to delete your second one. You're logged in twice, and that might be causing some feedback. Ken, can you hear us better now?
No, actually, no. I openly.
I can't really hear Ken. His transmission is breaking up.
Ken, do you want to try logging out and logging back in?
Your audio is, I can't understand what you're saying.
I'm going to try to call him.
I think maybe his connection might be bad.
Okay, Kelly,
Are you there, Ken?
We're going to try getting Ken logged off and have him get back on again. We should,
I can hear you now.
oh, you can hear us now?
But hear me?
Try
I
talking.
don't have any,
Ken's audio is still breaking up for me.
Yeah. Ken, why don't you log off and log back on again?
Yeah, there we go. His video is freezing also.
yeah, I'm trying to get out.
Are you able to kick him out? I don't think he knows how to get.
If I remove him, it makes it harder for him to get back in. I'm trying to
Oh.
keep it easy.
Yeah.
For those that are waiting for the meeting to start, our meeting, this is the pre-meeting first from 5 to 5:30. The members will be trying to speak momentarily as soon as we get one member back on again. Thanks for being patient.
I'm checking twice. I'm checking twice. How to get out of this thing.
Check on your, on the computer, you're checking on the, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Not very well.
Could you maybe turn up your microphone volume?
Okay.
While we're waiting for him, Bob, you can go ahead and at least ask the members if they have any concerns about the pre-approvals while we try to figure out what's wrong with Ken's
Sure.
audio.
I guess all the board members that are present,
I'm jumping on the computer.
You're going to go to the computer?
I know 10 minutes.
So Bob, with the members that are here right now, you still have a quorum and you could at least start the work session.
yeah. All the members that are here, I guess you can hear me.
Yes.
All right. We had pre-approval sent out, and if anyone had a chance to review, are there any comments to add to the pre-approvals?
I reviewed them. They look fine for me.
Yep. Same here.
Me too. They look fine.
Okay. I didn't have any comments. So I guess we can go ahead and talk about the ones that weren't pre-approved. Two of them are public hearings. The first one is 33 Plant. I guess where there's some comments, if anyone wants to jump in.
I had a few questions. They mentioned that Hardy panel was going to be used to fill the openings that were left when they're changing from door to window. And I was wondering if that Hardy panel was going to be finished with any kind of stucco, if it was going to match the existing stucco texture, or if it was just going to be left smooth. Additionally, I was wondering if there was going to be any kind of trim that was going to be placed at the bottom of the new window in between the infill panel and the window. And if that trim was going to match the existing trim. I'm trying to get more of a mental picture about what the finished altered opening is going to look like. And then also too, regarding that new stair, I was wondering if there was going to be a landing at the top of that stair and how deep it was going to be. Those were my comments.
I just had a question on the railing type, what that's going to be made out of.
Okay. All right, Angela.
Okay, I'm confused. How do you know that the size of the windows is different than the doors?
I think that they were going from a door to a window.
Oh, it does say windows will be 24 inches off the floor. Okay, there it is.
Yes.
Okay. I see. I guess I was kind of wondering why they aren't, why it's just a single light casement instead of maybe more like the house. Just curious. They're gonna, and I guess I wanted a little more information. I feel like I was a little lacking on exactly what this is gonna look like. Like, I guess with the railing, the whole thing, I felt a little like I wanted more information. It's not necessarily, I don't approve as much as I wasn't quite sure what they're doing.
Yeah. I had a similar question. You know, I spent some time drawing it out so I could imagine what it would look like. But the original house, I guess, is this part of the original house or was it added at some other point in time was a question I had.
I think it's an addition.
Yeah. So that was a clarification that I was looking for. I wasn't sure about, the lights or not, if there should be some divisions or just really a discussion about that. Okay, any other comments from board members on plant?
Well, there will be a resident that speak about this when we go in the meeting.
I would assume so.
They have been notified. They have been, notified and given all the information to link in, so.
Okay, good.
All right, we'll move on to 221 South Maple. I didn't have any comments. Any other board members?
I was good with it.
I have no comments.
No comments.
No comment.
Okay. Moving on then, we have pre-approvals, which we'll skip down to number 10, which is 741 Landscape. This is the one-story addition and expanding the second story in the rear deck.
I have a few comments. Is there going to be any proposed trim for that chimney and what the chimney caps might look like? And it seems like that deck rail, they might want to check with the code requirement about a ladder effect there. And perhaps close off the space underneath the deck. And if there's going to be anything proposed that could break up the west elevation at the new addition.
Yeah, I had that same comment on the west elevation, and then I just wanted to get clarification. The little 11 by 17 paper on the top of that set on the existing site plan, there's a note about the existing roof to remain. And then the proposed, it looks like they might be saying something different about the roofing material. Changing to standing seam roofing.
Oh, on the back.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
oh, maybe so that. Okay, yeah, so on the existing site plan, it does point to the existing roof and says that that will be a standing seam. But then on the new, it says existing roof should remain, so.
Okay, Ken, do you have any comments?
No, the, the, the deck is kind of a contemporary look, and I'm not sure putting they're inferring they're going to put some bushes around it, I guess, but I'm not so sure with that kind of rail if a lattice underneath is appropriate, I guess, so.
It really doesn't need to be a lattice. If they were open to putting something there, it could be something that was a temporary decorative clothing closing that's compatible with the style of the deck.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll vote on it. I just with that rail style, I would just leave it alone, I think.
Well, we can discuss it with the applicant.
Yeah. Angela, do you have any comments?
No, I don't have any more. Anything else?
My comment was windows, consider a window on the east side. I wondered, I was just looking at the plan when I looked at the elevation, sorry. I looked at the east side and I wondered if the two windows that are in the stair, if one of those couldn't be moved down to the first floor, sort of at the bottom of where the stair starts. That would kind of help break up the facade a bit on that side as well. Just kind of a question. And then I was curious about basement windows, if they considered that. So those were my only comments. Just more of kind of a question, I think.
Bob, just so you know, we did pass on, you had provided some sketches. We did
Oh,
pass
yeah.
that on to the applicants.
Okay, great. All right, so it sounds like we've talked through that one, landscape. Next one we have is 719 Fairview. That's the solar panels.
Just so all of you know, a couple members had asked about the possibility of them moving off that lower roof because it's very visible and it's kind of an unusual shaped roof, and about the possibility of moving it up further up to the top. We played a little bit of phone tag, and the message I got was that they said it just wouldn't get as much sun in the location that seems like the roof has some room. So we figured it would be better to have the discussion with them regarding that.
Yeah, I think that was what I had commented, and it seems like they're putting other panels on that same roof on the back side of the house, so. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear their reasoning on that.
I had the similar comment, Tracy, about moving it off that lower roof and perhaps relocating one panel to the rear and then the other panel to the west side slope of that front main gable. That would kind of balance out the panel that's on the other side, the east side of the gable.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
And hopefully that west slope seemingly would get some good bright light. So we can discuss that with them.
Okay. I think I had a comment about the finish. It looked like they're doing dark anodized. So.
For the member in attendee who has their hand raised, you will be called when your item comes on the agenda. We haven't started the main meeting yet. This is just a discussion.
All right. Last one on our work session here. There was a preliminary
Going
one
back
for,
to
pardon? For Sylvester, 357.
Um, 357 Sylvester. I think we had this one at a previous meeting and there was not a representative
Can you hear me,
to
Bob?
discuss.
I got kicked.
Right. Yeah,
And,
we saw. Yeah.
I think that we were interested in material callouts and looking at adding a window on the left side, main level elevation, possibly at the powder room or the computer room. And then with the rear shed roof, perhaps that could be moved a bit closer to the door head. Those were the comments that I had noted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. That's what I recall as well. All right, so we've made it through the work session, at least as far as any comments on projects go.
Ken, did you have a comment that you were trying to mention on the solar panels, or?
Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, if you looked at they're symmetrically set on that roof on the front low slope, and it's probably the most efficient solar panels on the house with the angle and the southern exposure. So I don't really have a problem with it. You drive down Lockwood across the street from Mary Queen and you see a house with solar panels on the front. So that's my comment.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, sorry, Ken, I didn't hear you before, so.
Well, my whole connection collapsed and I got back in, then it was muted.
Oh, okay.
And since you've been back in, Ken, occasionally your video freezes up like now. So I'm wondering if there's still an issue there. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay at the moment. It's,
Okay.
Not a good connection. So, okay.
So I know you guys have about 7 more minutes until the main meeting starts. Just a quick heads up. We had an enormous amount of applications come in. They just kept coming in today. So we will try to go through them the same way we did this last time. It takes a lot of staff time, but I think it becomes more efficient because tonight we were supposed to talk about 14 items and we got it down to 5. So we're going to try to keep doing it that way. And thank you all for getting the comments in as quickly as you did, because that is the only reason why we were able to do it this time. So thank you very, very much.
Sure.
So you guys have 5 more minutes if you want to just mute and blank for a couple more minutes, because we do need to officially start when the hearings are held and we can't start before 5:30.
Right.
So for those that are in attendance and listening, our main meeting will start at 5:30. They'll start with the pre-approvals and the approval of minutes, and then move to the 2 public hearings, and then we'll jump through the agenda to the items they haven't talked about. So thanks.
draft. And leaves just like it did in the spring. It's great. Good.
Bob, are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay, I think we're at time. We can start.
I'm here. Okay, thanks. Welcome everyone that's online to the Architecture Review Board meeting, September 3rd. We just finished our work session. I believe joining us on the Zoom call with the city is Mara Perry and Kelly Campbell and Will Penny. Architecture Review Board members tonight, Tracy Collins, Carol Dunke, Ken Burns, Angela Thompson, and myself, Bob Buckman. Volunteers on the board, We have completed the work session. Before we move to any pre-approvals, there are meeting minutes that were sent out for August 20th. So with that, I'll ask, does anyone, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the August 20th meeting minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so those are good. Next, Mara did send out pre-approvals, which came through email by board members to the city. And as I read through these, I'll just ask whoever makes the motion to just read from the handout, because some of them have some comments attached. So the first one is 724 Fairview. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 724 Fairview with the understanding that the window grill patterns will be updated to match windows in the house.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, so that's approved. Next, we have 550 Olive Court. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 550 Olive Court as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 550 Olive Court's approved. Next, we have 326 Huffenstein. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 326 Helfenstein as submitted.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Helfenstein is approved. Next, we have 359 Calvert. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 3059 Calvert as submitted with the updates that were submitted on the first.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 359 Calvert is approved. Next, we have 532 Elizabeth.
Make a motion to approve 532 Elizabeth with the understanding that larger square foundations will be used at the piers of the stone columns and fireplace in lieu of the pier foundations shown in the drawings.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so that's approved. Next, we have 240 Chestnut. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 240 Chestnut with the understanding that the entire house is being re-sided. All trim is being reused. The fish scale siding at the front gable will remain. The sides of the porch steps will either be lattice or solid panel finish, and the railing and column details will match the additional information submitted by the applicant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 420 Chestnut's approved. Next, we have 311 Hillside. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 311 Hillside as submitted with the understanding that below the deck will be closed off with lattice or other decorative material.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, that's approved. Next on the list is 320 North Bompard. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 630 North Bompard, with the understanding that the materials will be as noted in the additional information submitted yesterday.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 630 North Bompard is approved. Last on the pre-approval list is 530 East Lockwood, sorry. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve 530 East Lockwood with the understanding that the signs will be painted aluminum with vinyl graphics.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? And that one is approved. All right, that goes for, that's the end of the pre-approval. So if anyone's online and your project was read, you can leave now or hang out. Well, next project on our list, we have 2 public hearing projects. So the first one is 33 Plant. Mara, is there someone online that's going to join us?
Please raise your hand if you're online for 33 Plant. Okay, Chris and Kate, hold on just a moment and I'll get you hooked up. Okay, do I have Chris and Kate online?
Chris is here.
Kate's here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay, welcome, Chris and Kate. I think some of our board members had some questions.
I'll start off with a few of the questions. With the Hardy panel that's going to close off the wall opening that will be left by shortening from doors to windows, will that have a smooth finish or will it have a stucco applied with a texture to match your existing stucco?
It'll be the Hardy stucco panels.
Will it be smooth or will it have texture applied?
It's a texture.
Okay, does the texture match your existing texture of your stucco?
It's very close.
Okay. Will there be any sort of trim that will be applied to the bottom of the window so it would effectively form some sort of like rectangle that would set off that infill panel from the bottom of the window?
Yes, the window will be trimmed out with 6-inch trim.
Okay, will that be trimmed to match your existing trim?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it will be finished the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Great, okay. Let's see, and is there going to be a landing at the top of your new stair?
Not unless code requires it. It's a sliding door, so I'm not sure if it's going to require it or not.
Yeah, I think
believe
we have,
it's a swinging door, we have to have one. Am I incorrect?
okay. Let's see, and also I think there was a question about perhaps using a grill pattern in your new windows and doors that would be similar to the house. Is that something you had considered?
Okay.
I can address that. I really would prefer not to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because my kids are going to be in the back inside, and that's part of my driveway and cars leaving and coming, and I'd like an unobstructed view. It's in the back, and there are several windows in the house that are not divided. The kitchen windows are not divided.
Okay.
By anything in the front. The original windows are, but there are several replacements that are not. And since it's not visible from the street or anywhere else, I really, for multiple reasons, would rather not do that in the back.
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that I'm making things safer and more attractive any way you look at it.
No, that's fine. Thank you for filling us in on the context, because without like photographs of all four sides of the house, we don't know that information. So that context helps a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge as it is. And if it were in the front, I actually would have done the kitchen windows that way, but they are not done that way. But yeah, given that they're in the back, and I'd like a clear view of both cars coming and going and my kids.
So will all the windows, so that's sort of like a the back chunk of your house, will all the windows be basically the same when you're finished there of that extension off the back?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll all
Yeah,
match back there. Okay.
Yeah,
And
the
that makes-
door
okay.
and the windows will be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was something, yeah, I wasn't quite sure. Like Carol said, that I wasn't exactly sure that if you were replacing all of them or there would be some that were still there and, you know.
So
it'd be
right
kinda-
now,
But
right
you're
now,
replacing the
yeah,
whole
right
back
now,
area windows.
correct. They're not windows, they're doors.
Well, you're right, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They're screwed shut. I have no airflow. I have no way to open anything or get anywhere besides the egress door. Don't know how it made it past anyone for that to happen, to have floating doors to nowhere that are screwed shut. But it's a big problem, and it needs. They're leaking. They're not meant to be, I don't think, where they are. So yeah, it's a big problem.
I would just like to add this addition, and it was an addition to the original house.
Correct.
It was a more contemporary style than the original house. It was a clear, decisive departure from the original house. Strangely enough, there's an architect who lived there who was the chairman of the ARB.
Yeah, I don't know how you screw up a box, but he did a number on it, and
Yeah.
the doors to nowhere are just.
My point being, if you wanted to, in conjunction with the fact that the whole shape and the position and everything about the addition these windows go on is a departure from the house, I don't really have a problem with
Yeah.
windows being a departure commensurate with that. So
Yeah, and like I said, nothing's visible from the street, or and my neighbors have even made mention of wanting to look at anything except floating doors. So
So
There's
when
that.
was do you know when the addition was put on?
I don't. I know it was 2 to 3 owners ago, and I know it was an architect.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is funny because the roof is done incorrect. It's just kind of a hot mess, and it's a box. So I know it was a few owners ago, and you know, we did talk about it with the seller's agent about.
Sure.
We got some money off to. I mean, it was the doors are rotting, so because they're leaking. So
Yeah,
the addition was done, but it had to be at least 14 years or more before.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
that's
the years
interesting.
he did it and lived there, but
I love the extra space, but I'd like some airflow and not water in my house.
all right, sound good.
So great.
Great. No, that was my only question. Other members that have comments?
I was just gonna ask about the railing type. What it would be made out of?
We're not actually doing any railing with the project. Well, no,
Oh, no?
I'm sorry. On the side of the stairs will have
Stairs,
railing. And
yeah.
it's matching what's there. And what's
Okay.
there is,
It's like a wrought iron or something.
no, it's the aluminum, the black aluminum. Oh geez. Yeah, I know. I can't think of the name of the manufacturer.
Like a Westbury or.
Westbury. Yeah, Westbury
Yeah.
aluminum.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's on the side door. There's a railing.
Yeah, that's what's on the side door now.
Okay.
It's all the way around the deck that the new door is going out to.
Okay. Any other board members have comments? So it's a public hearing. Mara or Kelly, is there anyone else online that wants to raise their hand and comment?
I don't see anyone. I think that's no one's on to comment.
Okay. With that, then, do I have a motion on 33 Plant?
I'll make a motion to approve 33 Plant with the understanding that there will be a piece of trim located between the top of the new infill panel and the bottom of the new window, and that trim will match the existing. And also that the railing style at the new stair will match the black aluminum railing that's existing at the side door.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, you are approved. 33 Plant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
System Microsoft. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next we have 221 South Maple.
Aye.
Mara or Kelly, is there someone? Oh, I guess
221 South Maple.
we didn't have any comments, right?
Right, but we still have to vote on it. And
Right,
Here,
but well, no, what I was gonna say is if there's no one online for the
You may-
project, is there anyone online that has comments since it's a public hearing? That's what I meant to say.
yay, okay. I do not see anyone.
All right. With that, do I have a motion on 221 South Maple?
I make a motion to approve 221 South Maple as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, 221 South Maple is approved. Next, we have 741 Landscape. If there's someone online that can join us.
You'd raise your hand for 741 Landscape, please. Oh, great. I've got two. I've got Dawn and Ann. Hold on just a moment. Are you both there?
Yes.
And Dawn? We're not hearing Dawn.
He's muted.
Are you there, Dawn?
Looks like Donna is showing as muted. There he is. He unmuted.
Can you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of went crazy for a second.
All right, well, welcome Ann and Don. We have a few questions. I think some comments may have been sent beforehand. But I guess I'd like to ask board members to ask questions first.
One of the questions I had was if there's going to be some sort of trim or chimney caps on your new chimney. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like there's anything depicted there.
Yeah, it's not drawn yet. I think Ann was working on changing that, or not changing it, but just adding it to the drawings. It will have a typical corner trim, which is probably 3 to 3.5 inches each direction on the corners. And on the slope sections on the chimney, I haven't talked to Ann about this yet, but I'd like to, we're talking about putting a standing seam metal roof on the great room on the back, the addition. and I'd like to do a matching panel on those slopes of the chimney. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And what about at the top of the chimney?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll have a cap for sure.
Okay, and about trim around the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also too, I believe that there is a prohibition in the code about a guardrail creating a ladder effect. I mean, I think that
Yes.
the
Yeah.
railing looks great, but I just, you know, wanted to give you all a heads up about that. Has there been discussion about that?
Yes. Anne, I think, has already changed that.
Okay, yeah,
Those are going to be vertical. Those won't be horizontal.
okay, that's one of the things I wanted to verify, because if the code folks wanted you to change that, we don't want you to have to come back through to get a different railing approved. So could you describe to us what would be there?
Yeah, I think that was a mistake anyway. We never wanted a horizontal railing, so.
Okay, and can you give us some idea of what the railing configuration and the rail style and the picket style and such will be?
Anne, can you jump in on that?
Sure. I think what we're proposing pending pricing is a 1-inch round vertical painted aluminum balustrade with wood cap top, and then a wood style and wood, and then probably clad posts. So the balustrades would have a 4-inch spacing.
Okay, and you said clad posts?
Yes, and they would be with a little cap on them. They'd be in a traditional style.
Okay. And then it looks like that, I believe it was your west elevation there is pretty blank. Is there consideration given to putting some element there that would help break up the elevation, whether it be a window or something else?
Well, I don't know what else we could do there besides a window, but we purposely left that way. We put windows all across the back, the north side, and that side of the house it's only visible from my next door neighbor, and she's a single woman, and she and I would both like the privacy. So
I think
if we could, I'd like to leave it like that if we can. I mean, I don't oppose, I like a lot of windows, but that side, and there's also a gigantic tree. It's probably a 6-foot diameter cottonwood that's 100 feet tall. So it pretty much blocks everything. And I have bushes along. I'd like to do a lot of planting and things like that. So we could use some landscaping to kind of hide it, but we'd really like to leave it like that if at all possible.
I can understand your concern about privacy. Would you consider perhaps putting in some high windows there that would break up the elevation a bit, maintain your privacy, and get you some natural light in there?
Well, we do have windows all across the north side, so that's going to take care of all the light, I believe. And I feel like we could, with some tall columnar landscaping, address that facade there. There really is this majestic tree on the neighbor's property. And Don is a talented gardener, so I feel with landscaping, that facade, although you're looking at it just with the house in the context, it does form it's not as harsh as you're thinking. In the context with some landscaping, I think it would be fine. And Don and Jerry would really like to maintain the privacy there. And it's not easy to put in high windows on a space with a shed space underneath. It just makes it a little bit awkward to suddenly introduce square rectangular windows on a wall that has a diagonal shape to it. But the primary driver of that was privacy, and also just giving them a wall for artwork and things like that when they do have a whole north side of all windows and doors there.
If the owner's decision or preference is not to do it, I'm not going to twist their arms and make them do it. So I'm okay with it the way it is.
Thank you.
Typically, we like to remind people to keep in mind that landscaping doesn't always get installed, and it may not survive or thrive or then ever be replaced. So typically we avoid relying on landscaping to make the building look good because it can be short-lived, the landscaping. So that is something to keep in mind. And also I think that if you were to place some high windows that are at the same head height as the original windows in the original house, that would not detract from your shed roof line. So those would be my comments.
Okay.
Tracy?
Yeah, I had a question. Just wanted to clarify the roofing on the smaller 11 by 17 sheet site plans. It looks like there's a note on the existing site plan that might conflict with the proposed site plan. Because on the existing, it says the existing roof is going to be replaced with standing seam. And then on the proposed, it says that the existing roof is to remain. So I wasn't sure what was the plan there.
No, we've addressed that. We're going to do shingles. It's an architectural shingle to match the existing on everything except the shed roof on the back. That'll be a standing seam. I work for Hyde Sheet Metal, so I kind of like to have some sort of metal on there.
Okay.
And I don't really want the whole thing to be metal, so.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna keep that.
Yeah.
All right.
So it'll be a color to, we're thinking maybe a dark bronze, medium bronze, something to match the shingles.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it'll only be on the shed roof. And then
Yeah.
maybe, like I said, maybe a little bit on the slopes of that chimney casing or that
Yep.
chimney chase.
Okay. Anything else, Tracy?
Nope, that was my only comment about that.
Okay. Angela?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. My comments were, I actually sent a sketch along, which I'm sure they shared. We've kind of talked about the windows a bit. Did you guys consider any basement windows? Just
Yes.
curious.
I mean, we can, that's not, I think we just didn't really think of it. We can't I can on the west. We can't really on the east where I think you suggested, because that is just, that's a bump out for stairs to go up and down. So it's not even a basement. It's just, it would be shining light into a crawl space. So it really wouldn't make sense to put one there, but we can, I'm not opposed at all to putting a couple basement windows in.
Yeah.
I think Ann and I talked about that. I think, do you remember where those were, Ann?
I think we'll add those to the west side of the new great room. So there's already one existing one on the west side, and we'll add two more on in the new basement.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, I mean, part of it for me, when I look at a plan as an ARB member, I'm just looking at the character and from the outside. But since I'm an architect, like the rest of us on the call, I just think about the inside too. So when I saw there weren't any windows, that's why I asked, because I think it's good to have that discussion, because not only does it help with, it doesn't impact the exterior, but the inside of the house as well, of course. And I also had another comment really related to the east side, and it was just a suggestion. Did you guys think about having a stair on the first floor you know, as you go up the stairs, or, you know, what was the reason to gang those two double hungs along the landing on that side?
We've
I was-
actually revised that, and we have moved that double window down to the first floor landing and up at the second floor landing. So the windows are now all at the landing, so there isn't one mid stair anymore.
Oh,
It sounds like we have a lot of revisions here that aren't reflected on the submittal. We've got the railing style, of course, the clarification about the metal roof, putting the metal on the slope part of the chimneys, the trim, adding more windows, moving windows. It sounds like there's some decisions that need to be incorporated into the drawing so we can see clearly what it is we're approving.
yeah.
Okay. I think we got these comments back after, when did we get these comments?
Days ago?
I don't know. I mean, we submitted the drawings and then we saw these comments, I guess, questions about the drawings. So
Yeah.
I just thought we were going to address that tonight.
So for the applicants, the way we've been doing that, you normally pre-COVID times would not have had those comments ahead of time. We've been just trying to make that help facilitate, because obviously Zoom can be a little difficult.
Right.
So if pre-COVID time, you would have just come in, sat down and had these conversations. And then if the members had additional questions and there were enough things that need to change, you would typically, they'd ask you to come back with revised drawings. So the timing of us getting you comments, that's not a normal a part of the process. We're just trying really hard to help during these times.
I understand.
I think we would have, because a lot of these changes were already made, so they were things that were made in the time. So I didn't realize that we could resubmit the drawings, so I probably would have sent them over so that you could see that the changes were already made.
Yeah.
Are we of the mindset there's too many loose ends here to vote on this tonight? Is that what's going on?
I mean, I think that's, I'm of that camp. I think we need to, so really, I think Ann and Don, you know, if you guys, you know, you've heard our commentary and you've addressed some of them already, but we can't see it. We can't approve what we can't see with that many changes, I don't think. So I think, you know, my thought is we would just table it and have you, you know, submit your corrected drawings to the city, and then that way, at least the next time, you know, you can move forward.
I agree. It seems like we need updated drawings in order to see clearly what all is proposed. And I believe it's in the project's best interest that, you know, the board is clear, the city is clear about what all of your intentions are. So there's no misunderstanding once you get into construction. So I would like to see updated drawings.
Yeah. The only other comment, we got kind of sidetracked. I was just going to make the comment on the west elevation. I had also, you know, made a comment that it would be nice to break that up a bit. So, to me, you know, seeing if you're adding basement windows, I think that helps a lot for me. I just want to let you guys know my thought on that. So.
I was just going to throw something out as a non-binding suggestion, take or leave it, doesn't matter. But on the chimney, if you're trying to kind of do kind of a fun little departure and a little more contemporary with that metal roof, you could just come across and let that same roof line cap the chimney as far as the frame underneath it, and just do kind of a slick metal extension of the flue stack up above there, assuming it's a gas fireplace. I don't know what it is. So.
No, it'll be wood burning.
Okay, well, you still do it that way, but it's just throwing it out, you know.
Say that again. I didn't understand that.
Well, if you just took the roof and when it got to the chimney, it would kick out, that it'd just be that one continuous line, and all the chimney above the roof would just be a metal flue stack. So.
Oh.
Just, you know, think about it, but whatever.
Okay.
what you have here is okay too. I'm not saying it. I don't have
Okay.
a problem with it.
That's a lot of
multiple
flu stack. Isn't that a lot of flu stack showing?
Well, but it's kind of a contemporary look. So yeah, it's your house. I want you to do what you want to do.
Oh, thank you.
It
I want
really
to
is-
start building it.
Ha!
Approved.
So,
If you come back at the next meeting, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Do we, I'm sure Ann has probably already started the drawing, and I know she's already sent me some of the changes that we talked about tonight. Can we just submit those, and do we have to come back to the next meeting, or?
Yes, you will need to resubmit them. If you get them to City Hall by Tuesday of next week,
Okay,
we'll be able to get you onto the next agenda.
okay. And will you want us to be involved in that meeting, or will it just be if we made all the changes that we talked about, you'll just?
No, we like you to be involved.
However, it's possible you might be pre-approved too. So I don't.
That's always a possibility.
Oh, okay. That's kind of that's where I was going with that.
Okay.
Okay. When do you find out if it's pre-approved?
Before the meeting.
Well, I assume that, but would it be 2 weeks from now, or could it be if you got the drawings? I don't know when you all meet, or if you look at them individually.
The next meeting is the 17th. So we would let you know the Wednesday or the Wednesday before the meeting on the 17th or early the 17th.
Okay. Good enough.
Okay.
all right. Very good. So, with that,
Oh,
Don,
There was one
Don.
other thing. Somebody mentioned covering the bottom of the deck with like a lattice.
Oh,
There is lattice on the front of the house, but I've recently, in fact, just today, I sent Ann something that looks a little different. It's more of a horizontal, maybe 3-inch wide board, and then a couple 1-inch wide boards, and 3-inch, couple 1-inch. So I don't know if we'll incorporate. Do you want us to incorporate that in the drawings?
Yeah, I think, we were talking about closing off that area between the bottom of the deck and
Right.
the grade with something, not
Right.
necessarily lattice because your design is contemporary on your deck, but it
Right.
sounds like what you're describing would be real attractive back there.
Okay, good. So you want that on the drawings?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay.
yep.
Anything else?
That should do it.
Think we're good on this side.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Don and Ann. Well, next we have 719 Fairview.
Please raise your hand for 719 Fairview. I've got Kelton. And is Ryan a part of this? Ryan Wagner? No, just Kelton? Okay, hold on. Are you there, Kelton?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, Kelton, welcome. We had a few comments from board members on the solar panels.
Yeah.
I'll start. My question was, what's the finish going to be on the rails and the outside trim on the solar panel enclosure?
So our solar panels are just all black. It's a flat black finish.
And then the support rails that you attach to the roof
Yeah.
are going to be black as well?
I believe so. There might be some like aluminum coloring to them.
Yeah, when I was looking at the submission, it looked, there were what appeared to be clear anodized aluminum and black or dark anodized aluminum, but it wasn't clear that that's what you were doing. I would think that if you're doing, dark panels with a dark frame, that you would also install that on a, you know, a dark anodized or a Kynar coded dark railing as well. So that was a clarification I wanted to have.
Okay. Let me make a note of that real quick. And I do apologize. So I'm actually in sales. So some of the more, like the more like architectural minutia, I'm going to be probably way off on, but I'll do my best to answer. And then I also did have a quick question, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
On the submission that you guys have, does it say how many panels are being installed?
There's 9 shown.
9? Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I know we had had to update it a couple of times. I want to make sure you had the most recent one.
So 9 is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Other members had comments?
Yeah, I think that there was some discussion about the possibility of moving the 2 panels that are currently located on roof number 4, which is the front porch, and moving those to other less visible parts of the house. And I understand that that is, you know, facing south. However, looking at your photographs and your plans, it looks like there's a huge evergreen tree that would be shading that area in the morning. So we were wondering if there would be a possibility to taking one of those panels from the front and moving it over to the west side slope of the main front gable, and then perhaps locating the other one on back on roof 2 or some other location.
Okay. In the plan that I am looking at least, I'm trying to figure out where, because I have an engineer that has moved things around. As far as I can tell, he's used up all of the available space to us on those locations. And if there's a roof that doesn't have it, it's because it wouldn't fit as per like fire codes. And I know that he did a number of revisions, and this was essentially what he said was the only option available to us given the parameters that we have to work with.
Okay, you're talking about fire codes, you're talking about the perimeters required at the roof around the panels?
Correct.
Okay.
And then there are a couple of roofs that are available that face the back of the house away from the street, but with those being north facing, that would seriously compromise the production of the system.
Yeah, I can see where those would be less effective.
And so even with the shade from that tree in the front, the production rating that we're still able to get is optimized it for our client.
Those are probably your most productive panels on the house, aren't they, when the sun's hitting them?
Yeah. I mean, if it's south facing though, we do have optimizers built in that are allowing them to work well even without you know, like direct sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And so even south facing with a bit of shade is going to be a little bit better than some of the other locations.
I don't really have any problem. I mean, you're putting solar panels on, you might as well be honest about it. And I can see where that roof is one of your primo locations in terms of energy production. So you know, you got to talk to the other people on the board, but I'm fine with having 2 panels on that roof. They're symmetrically positioned. Not the first house in Webster where you're going to see a solar panel, and I'm not so sure being able to see a solar panel is a bad thing. So that's my thought.
Well, I think it was worth having the discussion if there was a possibility to perhaps maintain function and enhance the appearance a little bit. So Kelton, thank you very much for reviewing that with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other board members want to comment?
I don't have any comments.
Okay, Tracy?
No, I mean, I still don't think I really agree with the justification, but I might just sit out on this vote.
Okay. Yeah, my comment really is, I think on the front, as long as everything's finished off, I don't really object to the two on the front myself. But I think it's important that it's clarified for me. I think it helps it, look like one piece of tech, if the rails and the panels are all sort of the same material. So I would be okay with it as long as those support rails match the finish of the panel rails too. So that's my comment. With that,
I actually agree with that, Bob. I wouldn't want it to be, there's no reason to make it stand out any more than you have to. And it needs to look finished and like you thought about what you're putting up there.
right. Yeah, so Kelton, I know you said you weren't sure about the railings, but if it looked like in the literature you've got options, it just wasn't clarified on your submittal, and I would vote in favor of it, but I would want to see the support rails match.
Okay, I can make sure that happens then.
Okay, great. Well, I don't think there's anything else from the board except for we have to vote. So, do I have a motion on 719 Fairview?
I make a motion on 719 Fairview that we approve as submitted with consideration that all the appurtenances to the rails and the mounting system be a matte black finish.
I would like to make that a clarification rather than a consideration.
Okay, in the event it's not available, I got you. Okay. So, you want me to restate?
Please.
I make a motion, we submit as, we approve as submitted 719 Fairview with consideration that all energies be made, that all the metal fittings and attachments going with the system are a matte black finish whenever possible.
That seems to me like it leaves it open for it to be a contrasting rail. I just want to be clear about what we're agreeing to here.
Yeah.
Whatever, I guess what we're saying is whatever product is available in matte black, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, or dark anodized.
Thing, so.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'm sorry, is the motion, he said, what is the motion again? Could we state it again then, please?
I make a motion to approve a submitted 719 Fairview with consideration being given that all the metal appurtenances to the installation process be matte black.
It's a clarification and a requirement, not just something for the applicant to consider. And I think we need to be clear about that in the motion, please.
Well, my first motion was that it would be flat black.
It's not,
I guess the word consideration.
Consideration.
Yeah.
If you want to reword it, go ahead. I'm all ears.
Okay, would you like to withdraw the motion and someone else can make it? Is that agreeable?
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah, if you've got a different way to word it, I'm willing to accommodate.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve 719 Fairview as submitted, with the clarification that the rail system will match the color of the flat black finish of the panels.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
All right. You are approved.
Just one moment. Ken, what did you say?
I was supporting
You
it.
said yes.
Or
That's
for-
four.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. We couldn't tell.
Okay.
I heard it. Okay. So you were approved on 719 Fairview.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We have 357 Sylvester. It's a new house. Is there someone online?
Raise your hands, please. So I have Charles and Alex.
Hi, Charles and Alex.
Hello. Hi there.
We had seen your submission, I think, the time before. We had made some comments, and I guess I'll start off by saying, are you aware of what those comments were?
We've received some comments from Mara, I believe, earlier this week.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, I believe so.
Yeah, okay. So I'm looking at the submission, and
Okay.
it looks like there were a few comments that were made that I don't necessarily see addressed, but one was on the rear elevation, the question of lowering that that roof over the door, just so it's a little more, not floating so high above the door. Did you guys take a look at that?
We did consider it, and I believe we are actually in favor of lowering it. Now, our consideration with our architect was we actually designed it to meet with your guys, what we thought were your requirements of trying to align the gutter boards on the front elevation and for the covered patio on the rear elevation, for all of those to be at the same elevation height. But if we can lower it, we're okay with that.
Yeah, I think that was the comment, so that must have been misinterpreted. Since it kind of sits by itself, I think framed over that door, it's going to be a little more functional if it's brought down as well. So if you're good with that. The other comment, okay, great, thanks. The other comment was on the alcove. I believe there was a comment about adding a window on the left side. Did you guys consider that?
So we do have, there is a window at the front elevation in the computer alcove. I think the most logical area that we did consider was in the powder room. Obviously, it was our preference not to have it be in a private area and being next to the driveway. But, it's our preference not to have it, but if it's something that's required, we could be agreeable to add it.
I mean, I think the comments came from some board members that that side elevation, could benefit from a window being added. There were suggestions being made. Some of them were in the alcove, the powder room. So you guys are open to putting one in the powder room, it sounds like?
Yeah,
I'd
we
like
do.
to chime in that I think the elevation is just fine the way it is. I don't think that window's going to make or break anything. So
It'd be our preference not to have it.
I don't.
Do you consider perhaps doing a high window, which would give you the natural light and still maintain some privacy, similar to the shape and size of the high windows you have on the right side elevation?
Yeah, if we go the route of putting a window in, that is what we would be looking at, high,
I think that
high
would
transom window like that.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
I mean, do you want the window or don't want the window to the homeowner?
Is this, can I just ask, is this your own house or are you a developer?
We are a home builder, so this house would be
It's not your house.
correct.
Okay, so you would be open to putting a higher window in the powder room or the alcove?
We'd prefer to not add a window in either of the locations. That would be our preference.
And if you needed to add a window to break up that, which would be your preference, the powder room or the computer alcove?
The powder room.
Okay. And then really, I didn't see a whole lot of information here about your material call-offs on your elevation. I mean, we can see the siding and such depicted, but I didn't see a lot of information there about your intended materials.
The intention is to use a Royal vinyl siding product. The vertical siding is actually a Haven insulated board and batten product. And I believe our intention is for a white coloring on the exterior.
What about your roofing? Are you just doing shingles?
Yeah, it would be a GAF Timberline Natural Shadow Architectural Shingle.
Okay.
It'd be in a like a charcoal black coloring.
And what about your columns?
The columns and the trim would also be white.
Material?
Specific material?
Yes, please.
I believe, Charlie, we usually go with HGB.
Yeah, like a permacast, Carol. It's like a
Permacast.
permacast column. And then the trim materials, typically a paintable Miratech 4-inch trim.
Miratech trim.
How about you have those vents that are shown at the top of the gables?
Yep.
Is that what those are?
At the front, yeah, the main peak of the front and rear gables.
Yeah. Would those be more, something more trimmed out, or, you know, because it doesn't necessarily look like a real vent. It looks like.
Right.
So is that what you intend, to put a triangular vent there? Or would you put something else?
Alex, do you have the
No, yeah, the idea is
details on this?
Yeah, the idea is for a triangle vent. I believe we will be doing ridge venting on this house, so it will be for looks. It won't be functional.
It's going to be a custom.
Yeah, at that pitch, a 7/12, it will be.
It'd be a framed art, you know, more of a decorative vent than an actual functional.
Fabricated product underneath the roof line.
Correct.
So would it be made out of wood or vinyl? If it has to be custom made, what exactly would that be up there then?
Composite.
That composite?
Typically, it's trim material. Yeah.
So it would match the windows as
It'd
far as
match the trim. Yeah, it'd match the trim surrounding the windows and be painted the same color.
And would you actually have a trim at the eave, you know, up there at the vinyl siding? The siding just sort of runs into the eave right now. There would actually be a board or a piece of trim along the eave there.
No, right now we are not showing any trim at the eave. So no, there will not be any trim at that location.
It's all going to die into a little J mold.
Yes.
And could you give us some clarification, please, on the front porch, front-facing gable? Is that is that horizontal siding with a vertical trim applied along the middle, or exactly what is that? Is that open or closed, or what's going on there?
That will actually is being depicted as being open. So it's framed up gable and will be open, and that siding that you're seeing is the back wall.
Okay, that's back wall siding, and you're proposing basically just like an open kind of truss configuration there?
Correct.
Going back to that trim element at the underside of the eave, I mean, technically you can do that with your vinyl siding with the J-mold, but the vertical siding, isn't that going to require like a 3 1/4 board or something to die into?
Especially with the batten. I mean, if you're going to have a batten projecting away from the face, it's going to need something to die into more than just a small piece of J-trim or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, that trim comment, I think, is valid when it comes to the vertical siding. It would be nice at the other location too, but it's not necessary, I guess, as a construction issue.
Yeah.
It would definitely look better.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that issue. You know, we've used this material plenty of times before, and that has not come up. But I'm not specifically. I can't call off the top of my head a situation where we did not die into trim, so I can't call that out specifically.
Alex, I believe our Sanford Farms display, where we had the vertical siding, I believe that, you know, I'm not positive of the siding application, but we were able to have that die into a J channel or some sort of siding product that met the vertical siding.
Yeah, I believe it's possible.
Look,
I just can't call off the top of my head.
Aesthetically well, so.
And there is a roof overhang projecting.
Correct.
Yes.
A little bit better.
All right. Any other comments from the board? We have a few clarifications I think most of the board members, Tracy, I don't know if you had any more comments.
Nope, nothing further.
Okay. I'm just going to go back to the left side elevation myself. I would be in favor if I were designing the house, I'd put a window in the powder room and the alcove and the powder room upstairs, because I think it's good design from the interior as well. But for me, having at least one more window on there would help, because there's a lot of blank siding. So I would be okay if you chose just the powder room on the first floor. And I know, but you had said that you were open to adding a window, and that's where you would add it. Would it be a taller window or a transom type, or would it be?
I believe it would be a transom.
Okay.
The transom window at the same header height as the other windows on that side wall.
Okay.
Yeah, we would probably copy the transom windows that are shown on the right side elevation.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. So I think that that's good for me with the back roof being lowered and the transom being added to the powder room. Clarification on the columns, we're going to be perm cast. They're going to match in the front and the back. Is that correct?
Correct.
Additional comment about your front door style. Is that what you intend? What's shown here? Just a plain 2-panel door? And is one of those a light, or is that just a solid door?
That right there is just a solid door. The specific door panel has not been selected yet. We would select something with something comparable to the window pattern, or possibly a solid front door.
Okay, so really you don't have a door selection yet. You don't know whether it's going to be solid or match the window. Have a light to match the window. You haven't decided that as yet. Is that, am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
Yeah, I think I would like to see some sort of decision made there.
I'll make the decision that we go with what's on the plan, then I can commit to that. Carol?
Okay, you want to go to with a 2-panel solid?
Correct, 2-panel solid.
Okay.
I have one more question on the front porch detail. How are you guys going to finish that edge? Is that going to be like a turned down slab, you know, and finished when you pour that, so it'll be a nice finished edge?
Yep. That's
Okay.
typically what we do when we pour the front porch slab. We do a turn down, so it's kind of
Okay.
a cohesive element with the poured concrete front porch.
Okay, thanks. All right, I don't really, to me, I think I don't know, unless any other board members have an issue, I don't really have a problem with moving it to vote on it, even though it's preliminary. Does anyone object to that? And if not, would someone like to make a motion?
I agree to that, and I will attempt the big motion. Okay, let's make a motion to approve 357 Sylvester Ave with the following clarifications. Start at the rear. The canopy shed roof over the rear door will be lowered a little bit so that it's closer to the door. The front door will be a 2-panel solid door. The front gable over the front door is an open truss configuration. The front slab is a turn down slab that will be with the finished edge. The exterior materials are as follows. We will have vinyl horizontal siding. We'll have vertical board and batten. We will have the permacast columns at the front and back to match. And then we'll have the decorative vents at the top, front and rear gables. The roofing is an architectural shingle. And there will be a window added to the powder room on the first floor. That's going to be a high transom window. Is there anything I missed?
Good job. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed. I think the requirement for the
Okay.
windows is bizarre.
Okay, so that's 4-1. You are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
All right, with that, I guess we're adjourned. Mara and Kelly?
Ours gone. Thanks, guys, for all your hard work. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys for all your hard work coordinating all of this under our unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
We're winging it, but we're doing okay.
Good deal. Enjoy your holiday weekend.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Yay.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
All right. See
See
you
you,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.